few weeks we've been doing a vlog here on the basics of our life, home, and ministries. And so this is, I think, our fourth one. And last 4 weeks ago, that we talked about the foundation of our life and home and ministries, our character. Go back and pick that up, okay? A few weeks ago, we did the nature of our life, home, and ministry, and that should be that of a servant. Go back again, pick that up. And then last week, we did the motive of our life, home, and ministry, and that's love. Make sure everything you do is out of your love, okay? Now, let's talk about this new today, the measure of our life, home, and ministry. What's the measure? We talked about a lot of things, but how do you measure? And is there a way of measuring? Listen to me carefully. The measure of your life, the measure of your home, the measure of your ministry is your sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? You know, look at the measure of Jesus. It was the measure of his sacrifice. How do you measure your life and home and ministry? By the measure of what you're willing to sacrifice to make it a success, to make it impact. What are you willing to walk away from? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to lay down? You know, Hebrews says this. Hebrews says that we're to lay aside every weight and sin which does so easily beset us. And listen, and there are sins, obvious sins we know. We shouldn't be doing this and we shouldn't be doing that. By the way, that's not a sacrifice when you give that up. That's not a sacrifice. But when I think about the weights, he says, the things that really you can't say they're sins, but they're hindering you. They're not allowing you to reach your potential. And those things there are going to be sacrifices for you to lay down. Or it might be things that you're willing to say, you know what, I'm going to give this up so this other person can benefit if they can have that. Or if I give up this time and give it to them, then I'm willing to sacrifice that. That is the measure of our life. That's the measure of our home and ministry. When we stand before God, I believe God's going to measure it by the sacrifice that we made for Christ. Now, think about this for a moment. God has called us to take up our cross and follow him. Now, your cross, your sacrifice may never be mine, and my name may never be yours. But listen to me carefully. Make sure you take up your cross. Make sure you make the necessary sacrifices for people in your world that you're supposed to impact. But never lay your sacrifice on another person. Don't lay your cross on somebody else. You pack your cross. And don't judge other people when they don't sacrifice as much as you. And don't criticize those that you think, oh, they're over-sacrificing. That's not your territory. None of your business. The measure of your life, your home, and your ministry is going to be the level of your sacrifice. So let's be sacrificial to God. Let's offer him a life of sacrifice.